And hello everyone, Lights and Gear is back with another product review, and I have a flashlight here from a brand by the name of Sofirn. I'm going to pronounce it like that since I've not heard anybody else pronounce it. They might pronounce it differently in China. However, I was basically unfamiliar with this brand until I heard about this light, which is a nifty little light, and we'll get to all the details here in a second. This is what they call the PS32, I believe. And it is a flashlight that is not unlike some others, of course, since their imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So a lot of flashlights today do have similar stylings and features, and a lot are coming out which are less expensive than some of the bigger brands, and that happens to be with this particular model here. So let's take a look inside the little black box, and it has a couple of nice accessories, which we'll describe. So here's the manual. Sofirn user manual for the SP. Did I say PS? I don't know. Anyway, it's SP32. And there's a bit of information here on the front, which gives you the basics to say even what the modes are right here. 3 lumens, 15 lumens, 119, 392, and turbo goes up to over 900 lumens. So that's not too bad for a little 18650 flashlight. And it has one flashing mode, which is strobe. No SOS on this one. And it uses a Cree XP-L2 V6 LED. So it does provide a good amount of light, and it's actually it's not a cool white. It has some warmth to it. The color temperature is noted in here, although it says 5350K to 5700, which didn't sound terribly warm to me. But I guess but it is warmer than the average flashlight, and certainly not cool white. So a lot of people may like that. I find it quite pleasant, you know. Working voltage goes up to 8.4, so you can use a couple of different batteries other than an 18650. 2 CR123s and 16340s, etc. Won't give you any brighter light, though. I have tested that. The output is the same. And it does give you other statistics here. It is impact resistant to a meter, and it's also submersible. It's waterproof IPX to 2 meters. And it has a beam distance of, what does that say, 200 meters. So those are your particulars. It also has a low battery voltage warning, and also mentions here, which I have verified, that it will not stay on turbo mode for more than 3 minutes at a time. After 3 minutes on turbo mode, it hits down to the high mode, and after 30 minutes on the high mode, it kicks down to medium. So those are just a couple of things to be aware of. So the flashlight is amidst the other little pieces of product here, including this USB charger. So that's something different. A single battery USB charger with a little LED up in here. You can see the pictures of this on my written review at lightsandgear.com. When you plug this in with a battery, this turns red to charge, and when it finishes charging, it turns a bright green. To do that, they have given you the USB charging cable, micro of course. So if you have one of these lying around the house, you can either use one that you have or this one that's in the package. It has a good long length to it. Here is an accessory package. This has a couple of O-rings and a lanyard. So that's that. And here is the flashlight. It is just a little over 4 inches long. There we go. Has a pocket clip already attached. There is no activation button on the tail. Everything is done right here on the side switch. And I think you're probably pretty familiar with a lot of side switch operations these days, since those lights have been very popular and doesn't show any signs of slowing down. It has a little bit of knurling here, which isn't too bad. Here is your name. There's your switch. Here's your LED. It's a smooth reflector and seems to do a fairly nice job. Now when you open up the flashlight, you'll see that they also include a battery. So here's your 18650, your Sofirn 2800 milliamp rechargeable battery. I have given this a test, and it does for the most part come out to 2800 as far as capacity is concerned, so it's a quality battery. It also has a protection circuit. So it's a good battery. It's not some horrible cheap thing that they throw around with other lights a lot of times when they are inexpensive. You know, they'll throw those horrible cheap batteries in there which aren't worth dirt. So anyway, this is good. And you have a spring up in the head there. I don't think you can really see that actually. Well, there's a spring here in the tail cap. Spring in the tail cap, and there's also a spring right here up in the head. These threads are fairly good, and there's good threading here for the tail cap. Battery, of course, goes in positive side. It has mode memory, so it will always remember the last mode. And what I also found interesting was it remembers the mode even through the battery change. So taking the battery out, charging it, whatever, it will still come on in the last mode that you had it in. Don't remember if a lot of other lights do that, but this one does. So there are a couple of things to this light that more expensive lights have, which this one doesn't. As I say, it only has one flashing mode. It doesn't have SOS or location beacon. A lot of lights have an illumination underneath the button here. This one does not do that. It also does not have instant access. It has instant access to strobe, but it doesn't have instant access to the lowest mode or turbo mode, which a lot of flashlights do. So there are a couple of little things here and there which they've left out to keep the price, I guess, a little bit lower. But to also include the battery and this little charger is pretty good. Again, this charger is perhaps a little better than some of these others which you'll see with kits. First thing, of course, it is USB rechargeable, so you'll just plug your micro end into there and the little light will come on. But I did give this a test as well, ran the current, and it started charging a battery which was about 3/4 charged at about 0.7. And then slowly dropped 0.7, 0.6, 0.5 as the battery got closer to capacity. But I think this does put a better amount of current into it than some of these other free chargers you'll get. So anyway, operation is very simple. All you have to do is press and hold the switch to turn it on, and then you'll press and hold to turn it off. While it is on, just give it single clicks, and it will go through all the modes. So let's turn off a light or two here. And of course I'm in right now the lowest of the low, the lowest mode, or LL as they call it in the manual. So I'm assuming they mean like lower low or something like that. Pardon me for a moment, a little bit of camera adjustment. So right now we are in the lowest mode, and that's always going to be good for up close and personal illumination. And one more press, and we're now in the low mode. And then here we are in medium, and here we are in high, and here we are in turbo. And again, it stays on turbo for 3 minutes, and then it kicks down to the high mode. If you want to see the outdoor shots, of which there are several, I think you can get a good feeling of what it does outside by looking at those pictures, which are part of my written review at lightsandgear.com. So I would urge you to check those out. And it starts to get, you know, like any flashlight, it starts to get a little bit warm after it's been on for a couple of minutes. That's typical, and that's why it drops. Now, if you want strobe, all you have to do is press the button twice from anywhere you happen to be. You can be in ultra low and press the button twice, and you get strobe. One press again takes you back to the previous mode. If it's already off, you can double press and get strobe, and then a single press from that will simply turn it off again. So there's your safety and security with your strobe. That's the one thing that is accessible at any time from anywhere. Just double press the button and there you go. And when it's already on, you can do the same thing. So as I say, it doesn't have a couple of features that some of the other lights have, but it does come with very nice accessories. And if you click the link below to the Amazon page, you'll see how reasonably priced it is. That link is also in my written description where you can pick one up. And I think it's a nice light. It is a quality light. It's not a cheap little light. And you can also look at the Sofirn website, which I have the link to on my written review, and look at their other products. They don't have a lot of things on there, but perhaps they'll be adding more, and you never know. Maybe they'll offer another light to me to try out. So I appreciate them for giving me this chance to take a look at the Sofirn SP32, which is a decent little everyday carry flashlight at a very decent little price. But check out my website for more flashlights, batteries, and chargers, and more pictures taken outside with this little flashlight here. Anyway, thanks you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Have yourself a great day. We'll catch you next time.